We are back. It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason Bermas sitting in. And by the way, my show, the Infowarrior, will be starting on Sunday after the Alex Jones Show. That's 6 p.m. Central Time. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday when I get back from this California trip where I'll be shooting for the Obama Deception 2 and my new film, Invisible Empire. Before we go back to your calls, I just want to take this time to thank some of our great sponsors that actually make this show possible. eFoodsDirect.com. That's eFoodsDirect.com. 1-800-409-5633. Okay, so we don't have to remind you that you need food to survive. Our biggest sponsor, eFoods Direct, is the longest continually operating storable foods company in the country. They also happen to be true patriots and supported the freedom movement for years and years. You want non-GMO, good, clean, storable foods? It's at eFoodsDirect.com. 1-800-409-5633. And I also want to thank HomeGain. That's HomeGain.com, HomeGain.com, everything real estate. You can actually pop in your address. It'll give you a free estimate right there. And they also have this thing called Street View and a virtual tour, so you can really look at the properties that they have on HomeGain.com. That's HomeGain.com. All right, let's go back to callers. And while I'm doing this, I want to show you some of these robots I've been talking about over at PrisonPlanet.tv. Let's bring up, who do we have? Let's show them the big dog. You know, because now we have the big dog, we have the Ripsaw. And the Ripsaw is essentially a tank with a 25 or 50 caliber mounted on top of it, and it is a weapon. Now, the big dog is there to carry weapons and whatnot, but it's very hard to disable, basically, because it kind of goes side to side. You can kick it, you can bounce it. And if you put a weapon on this thing, can you imagine how scary this thing looks? They call it the big dog because it kind of looks like a dog without a face. But here it is going through, pretty rough terrain with probably, I'd say, 100 or so pounds mounted on top of it, all this different equipment. All right, let's go to Dan in North Carolina. Dan, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason. Yeah, I know. I saw Big Dog quite a while ago, and that's really what's kind of scary more than anything else, because you look at it and you think about like the processor power they have to have in that thing for it to correct its movement, when it's kicked and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they talked about I was looking on in articles and stuff, and they're talking about putting technology on it that would be able to track like human heartbeat and human breath and stuff. So they're talking about essentially an extremely mobile weapons platform that can track people, and that just freaks me out more than anything.
Well, we live in a track and trace society, and right now they're showing that's kind of virtual video of these robo penguins. But before they were showing the robo penguins actually in the water with other penguins, and that's just the society we live in. I mean, we now have the Census Bureau going from house to house and GPSing every single home. I just saw the latest version of Google Earth, and oh my God, it is just off the charts. I mean, how much longer until all of our houses are 3D modeled where you can get like a real-time zoom in? And this is something that intelligence agencies don't have. The public has this. So we're really living in a society where we can almost track, trace, and surveil each other if we so desire. So you know that the government's doing it. You know it through the AT&T versus Hepton case that was thrown out in the beginning of June, where they actually had to admit, let me say it again, they actually had to admit that they were tracking and tracing everything you do on your internet and cell phone with a standard line that would take all of that information and store it on a hard drive, where they would then run it through like Promise or Carnivore, all this software where it would be automated before it saw even human eyes. So, I mean, we are well beyond the pale of what 1984 wanted to be, because we are in a technological super state that is just far beyond the visions of, Orwell or, Brave New World. And it's I mean, some of the things aren't there yet, but they will be. I thank you for the call. Just a moment ago, they were showing this Einstein robot, and I forgot what headline I read, but the last time I sat in for the Alex Jones Show a couple weeks ago, we read a headline about that thing. I think it taught itself to do something. So not only are these robotics, and that Einstein one looks really creepy. I told them to bring up Hanson Robotics, and there's a little panel on the side that says robots, where they're trying to rebuild Philip K. Dick. They got a robot called Joey Chaos. All these different robotics. It is Terminator-esque. Let me say it again. It is Terminator-esque, but instead of the robots being in charge, the elite will be in charge. See, they're never really going to be fully automated, hopefully. I mean, that would be a nightmare amongst itself. Harry in Michigan. Harry, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Jason.
Yes.
There. Good to talk to you. Yeah, I'm a long-time listener, and way before Alex started the show, I was aware of all this, and I'm 62 years old, and I think the world is in deep trouble, and the harder I try to pass the word, it seems like the further back I go. And I'm still trying to convince people of chemtrails, let alone the Luciferian connection with running this world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's it seems like the people nowadays, we're living off the bottom portion of our brain, and the lizard people, and we're in some deep trouble. And
well, sir, I got to agree with you. We are in some deep trouble, but it's really because society chooses to be, and I thank you for the call. I mean, we choose to care about our Jenny Light. We choose to care about our sports more than knowing what our government's up to. We choose just to watch the nightly news or a 24-hour news network, and instead of actually becoming active in our communities, not going to our city council meetings, not taking part in the political process. Oh, I mean, we dig our own graves. You know, when Ron Paul says we get the government we deserve, unfortunately, that is the case. I think that sometimes they go way over the top, and it really is a reflection of the corrupted moral society we live in. The people are still good. Okay, I don't want to get totally self-righteous and out of line. There is a lot of goodness in people. A lot of people are out there, you know, to take care of their families, and there's a lot of love in their hearts, and they just don't know the bigger picture. But a lot of it's tact if you're trying to wake people up. You know, you have to, I mean, you went from chemtrails to Luciferianism. You know, a lot of, people aren't going to respond to that. If you want people to respond to your message and you can't get them to talk about chemtrails, well, just say, take them outside. Well, what is that? Oh, that's a contrail. Really, that's a contrail. And then you explain geoengineering. You have to have a laptop next to you. This is the information age. This is where everything is at the cusp of your fingertips and really your brain. Not just your imagination, but your recall. Remember we used to have recall? We used to teach memory in school. It's a very novel idea to try to remember things you're taught. Instead, we live in this, information age where your attention span is less than 15 minutes and your retention of information is at an all-time low. And we do it to ourselves by slurping down, mercury-filled, corn syrup-laced Coca-Colas all day. Forget about the alcohol. Forget about just the slothfulness of society. And not everybody, I know there's a lot of good, smart people out there that are struggling, that are working 3 jobs, try to support a family. 3. Forget about 2 now. It's like 3 to support a family. Their wife works. They can still barely afford the payments. They just don't have time for this stuff. But again, those people are the ones that are zombified by the nightly news, by their favorite talk radio guy, and you have to find points of agreement with them first and then expand on those points of agreement to try to bring them beyond the false left-right paradigm. That's what I found works the best. All right, let's go to Josh in Florida. Josh, online. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I had a question about, well, not a question. I had some comments about eugenics. Mm-hmm. I know Alex was asking a few days ago for solutions, like what he should do, if he should start an organization. Mm-hmm. But in front of me, I have the city of Tamarack. That's in Broward County, South Florida. I have the 2007 Water Quality Report. Mm-hmm. And then in this packet, you open it up, and it tells you, okay, they put fluoride in it at 0.722 parts per million. Mm-hmm. And then we also have all these things that are not available, chloromethane, mm-hmm. which is a refrigerant. Mm-hmm. They also put acetone in it, which is a nail polish remover. They also have 2-butanone, which is used in plastics. Mm-hmm. They also have chloroform, and that's used in Teflon. And it also says dichlorobromethane, which
and this is all in the water supply.
Yeah, and I have it right here. It's the Water Quality Report 2007, and they have sodium, fluoride, barium, and then all those things I just listed. And you just do a quick, Google search looking on Wikipedia, and you find out that all these things are in plastics, nail polish remover, mm-hmm. and it's pretty crazy. I actually have
It is crazy.
Them.
And you know what? The public doesn't even care. And beyond just drinking it, I mean, you absorb that through your skin when you're taking a shower. And you're getting your daily dose of, you breathe it in. I need you to write an article or send it to writers at Infowars.com, articles at Infowars.com, a scan of this information. Hopefully you have a scanner and you can get it out there, because we need to do a story about this. I mean, this eugenics program hits us from so many angles. It's not just the water. It's not just the food. It's not just the shots. I mean, now it's the air you breathe as well. And that's what, that's what you have to explain to people while you're talking about chemtrails. Again, don't go off into other tangents. I thank you for the call, Josh. Great caller. Hopefully we can post that over there because people aren't aware. Barium in your water. Did you just hear the guy? Barium. Chloroform. I mean, people know from movies because people relate to movies so well because movies are people's lives, but chloroform is bad, bad, bad. It will knock you out. Now let's go to movies again because I know people relate to the movies. They love the Hollywood pictures. But when somebody's being abducted or attacked, what do they always do? They take a rag with chloroform in it. You're not supposed to drink it. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your kids. You're not supposed to absorb it through your skin and wash yourself with chloroform.